Cool it, Hollywood. Nobody likes a tryhard. Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 worst fan service moments in franchise movies. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're looking at the worst attempts at fan service or Easter eggs in film. As needlessly sexualized characters will be ignored, Slave Leia and gratuitous shots of Megan Fox in Transformers are out of the running.
So listen, I was wondering if I could ride you home. Give you a ride home in my car to your house.
Number 10. Fan Service Overload. Terminator Genesis. A little bit of fan service is perfectly fine, and can be a ton of fun, but a film should not be shoving callbacks into every other scene. Rather than feeling like a logical continuation to the legendary franchise, Terminator Genesis comes across as more of a greatest hits package, just with the tracks being replaced by inferior remixes. Old Man Arnold taking on the T-800 was entertaining enough to watch, but there was no need for a non-Robert Patrick version of the T-1000 to show up for a battle with Kyle Reese. Number 9. Frenzy, Transformers. Michael Bay has perfected the art of gratuitous fan service, but this entry has nothing to do with motorcycles or low-cut shorts. Arguably the best of the franchise, the first Transformers pays tribute to the cartoon Soundwave by introducing a new miniature deception called Frenzy, who breaks into Air Force One and transforms into a stereo. Ignoring the improbability of having a random boombox lying around in 2007, a significantly different Soundwave shows up in the later movies. So what was even the point of this reference? Was this inclusion simply done to prove that the creators actually watched the cartoons? Number 8. Deadpool, X-Men Origins, Wolverine.
Wait, is that you?
Spending years in development, David Benioff's script for this first Wolverine trilogy spin-off would eventually incorporate contributions by Hugh Jackman himself, Skip Woods, and David Ayer. During this time, the character of Deadpool was written in. Deadpool had been Ryan Reynolds' pet project for years, and once he was cast, the role grew, but not in a good way. While we understand taking liberties can sometimes lead to great success, this was not the character to try this with. Not only did the merc with a mouth not look like his comic book counterpart, but also the infamous wisecracker's jaw was sewn shut. We won't even get into his superpowers here. Luckily, the later standalone Deadpool films would do the character justice. Number 7. Holy Rusted Metal Batman, Batman Forever.
It's the car, right? Chicks love the car.
After Tim Burton's Batman Returns pushed The Dark Knight into heavier territory, Joel Schumacher and Jim Carrey were brought in to lighten things up. While Batman and Robin feels like a straight-up goofball comedy, Batman Forever has a couple of head-slapping moments that foreshadow the Caped Crusader's impending silliness. Despite maintaining the gothic aesthetic of Burton's films, Schumacher seemed inspired by the 1960s Batman series, including a line that only Burt Ward's Robin should have dared to utter.
Holy rusted metal, Batman!
Out of place and way too on the nose, Batman Forever's throwaway joke is a testament to the film's identity crisis.
Why can't you just die?
Number 6. Anakin creates C-3PO, Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
Isn't he great? He's not finished yet.
As the destination is already known, prequels exist to fill gaps in the mythos. The temptation to tie everything together can be overwhelming, but certain things are better left to the audience's imagination. Besides serving as the first chapter in Darth Vader's origin story, The Phantom Menace seemingly couldn't resist the urge to expand upon C-3PO's backstory. In it, we learn that C-3PO was reconstructed by none other than a prepubescent Anakin Skywalker.
Hello, I am C-3PO Human-Cyborg Relations.
In the grand scheme of things, this edition is the least of the Phantom Menace's worries, but the universe feels rather puny when the main characters seem to always run into each other.
Come along, R2.
Number 5. Damn Dirty Human and the Ending, Planet of the Apes.
Take your stinking paw off me, you damn dirty ape!
In a rare twist, Rise of the Planet of the Apes demonstrated the proper way to pay tribute to this particular line. Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes callback, by contrast, comes across as forced instead of endearing, switching things around by having Michael Clark Duncan's ape deliver an updated version of Charlton Heston's iconic quote. The film should have just gone ahead and winked at the audience.
Take your stinking hands off me, you damn dirty human!
Trying to recapture the magic of the original's cliffhanger, Planet of the Apes ends on a truly bizarre final note that is memorable for all the wrong reasons.
This one looked at me.
Number 4, Birth of a Name, Solo, a Star Wars story.
What's your name, son?
Han.
Here's a lesson on how to completely kill a character's mystique. Star Wars hardly lacks for beloved personas, but few compare to Harrison Ford's Han Solo. With Disney turning Star Wars into an annual event, everyone's favorite smuggler earned a spin-off movie that answered questions never even pondered by fans.
What? Who are your people?
I don't have people.
Among the dozens of Easter eggs, Solo cleared up any confusion surrounding the hero's name, but the explanation was totally unnecessary and did little to further Han's mythos. Apparently, Solo is a reference to Han being an orphan. Honestly, we liked it better when it was just a name.
Solo. Approved.
Number 3, Role Reversal, Star Trek Into Darkness.
My name is Khan.
There's nothing wrong with learning a thing or two from a masterpiece, but some new ideas need to be brought to the plate to warrant revisiting a classic story. Wearing its inspiration on its sleeve, Star Trek Into Darkness wants so desperately to be the modern-day equivalent of Wrath of Khan that J.J. Abrams' film ends up simply aping the original. Besides reintroducing characters like Benedict Cumberbatch's Khan and Alice Eve's Carol Marcus, Into Darkness predictably hit new lows by going as far as to copy Wrath of Khan's iconic ending, just with Kirk and Spock switching roles. Number 2, Ark of the Covenant, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Put down gun.
You got it, pal.
Steven Spielberg's Indiana Jones series is an insanely high standard to expect any film to reach. With that in mind, it may have been more prudent to avoid including any obvious reminders. Easter eggs are generally harmless, but a poorly timed one can drag the audience out of the experience, especially when the reference adds nothing to the story. During the Hangar 51 chase scene, Indy smacks into the Ark's crate, but moves on without giving it a second notice. This could easily have been a random box, but crate 9906753 was chosen to get a cheap rise out of fans. Sadly, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull had not earned this cameo.
This ain't gonna be easy.
Not as easy as it used to be.
Number 1, all of the cameos. Ghostbusters.
Why are you pretending to catch ghosts?
We love 1984's Ghostbusters as much as the next person, but there's no reason to bring everyone back for a cameo. Paul Feig's Ghostbusters reboot stops dead in its tracks whenever a Bill Murray or a Dan Aykroyd show up. With the exception of the subtle tribute to Harold Ramis, none of the cameos managed to actually be funny or respectful.
No, you only lack the proper equipment, like a garbage truck to hang on to the back of.
With some being downright mean-spirited. Considering the plot rarely treads new ground, these endless callbacks only intensified the sentiment that 2016's Ghostbusters was kind of redundant. Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.